Hey guys, Parallel here. I'm going to be talking to you today about the SoGM Rit, which is one of Razah's builds in the 7 Hero Support series. I believe this is part 6. Now, Razah actually has 2 builds because Razah has a unique factor where he can be any main set, so you can change him to whatever you want. But for this specific build, we're just going to be going over the SoGM Rit. Now, you do need them to be a Ritualist main set. Whatever subset doesn't matter because we won't be using any skills that aren't Ritualist skills. So, let's go straight into the build, shall we? And this build focuses on summoning like a lot of spirits and then enabling them to do lots of damage. And also having Flesh of My Flesh, because you're going to have a lot of downtime on this hero. Because mostly it's you cast your spirits and then you cast Signet and then you kind of sit there and auto attack. So we have Flesh of My Flesh and stuff like that, but we'll go over that. So our first skill is Signet of Ghostly Might. For 21 seconds, all spirits you control within earshot attack 33% faster and deal 10 more damage. So again, just a buff for all your spirits that you're going to be casting that we'll see later in this build. It's an attack speed buff, and if you know like StarCraft, it's like Stim. I don't know why it took me so long to think of a reference. But yeah. Our next skill is Pain. Create a level 13 spirit. This spirit's attacks deal 32 damage. Pretty simple. It's you summon a spirit, it has so much health, and it just auto attacks. But really nothing else to it. Something to note for spirits, for those who haven't used Ritualist too much, they will spawn on your location and they don't move. So you need to move them around or recast the spell if you want them to come back. And every time you recast the spell, they come back with full life. Our next skill is Shadowsong. Create a level 11 spirit. This spirit attacks deal 21 damage and cause blindness for 6 seconds. So another damage dealing one. This one inflicts blindness, which will make the attacks of certain monsters start missing. Mostly melee monsters, but you also have like those rangers and the auto attacks of caster mobs. So this pretty good. Disenchantment. Create a level 13 spirit. This spirit deals 21 damage and anyone struck by its attack loses 1 enchantment. So it really hurts enemy groups when they're just trying to buff themselves. It gets rid of those buffs and it's an auto attacker. This build is, there's not much to it really. It's just you summon spirits and buff them. So pardon me if I'm going over it a little quickly because there's really not much and I apologize. Anguish, next skill. Create a level 12 spirit. The spirit's attacks deal 21 damage and deal double damage to hex foes. So, we don't personally have a hex in this on this guy, but our other heroes do have hexes. So Anguish will be attacking and dealing double damage when we have like our mesmers inflicting them with hexes and such. This skill, this is a skill that can be a lot of different skills actually. This can be 6 different skills is what is recommended. So the first skill you can use is Soul Twisting. And I'm going off to the side, but I'll read them all out. Soul Twisting is an elite skill. It says for 48 seconds, your binding rituals cost 15 less energy and recharge instantly. Soul Twisting ends after 3 binding rituals. That's for areas where enemies are pretty spread out, where you need to keep recasting your spirits. Dissonance, create a level 13 spirit. The spirit deals 21 damage, and anyone struck by its attack is interrupted. Use this for boss shutdown. You want it to be interrupting attacks because bosses generally attack for a lot more. Armor of Unfeeling, to keep spirits up longer, requires some micro. It says your spirits within earshot take 50% less damage and are immune to critical attacks. So it just makes it so your spirits are harder to kill. Then we have Binding Chains. Target foe and all nearby foes move 90% slower and take 32 damage each second while moving. So if you want to snare monsters or kite monsters, use Binding Chains. It depends on the situation. Frozen Soil. Create a level 5 spirit. Non-spirit creatures within its range cannot resurrect dead allies. Really situational skill. You want to use it when you need anti-resurrection support, which generally you're not going to need too much, so I don't like Frozen Soil very much. This is a ranger skill, so if you wanted to add a subset, then you would put a ranger skill. I believe? Yes? Yes. And then finally we have the skill I choose, is Earthbind. Create a level 15 spirit. All non-spirit foes knocked down with its range are knocked down for at least 3 seconds. Whenever this happens, the spirit loses 23 health. So it's for extra shutdown. You use Earthbind on things like Malix and Doom. So for those dungeons like Underworld and stuff, this will come in handy a lot more. So I recommend Earthbind for the most part. I'm also a fan of Dissonance, so you can switch this slot out for Earthbind or Dissonance. In my opinion, I feel like those are the best ones for the slot. Then we have Boon of Creation. For 57 seconds, whenever you create a creature, you gain 47 health and 6 energy. So you cast this, and every time you summon a spirit, you basically get the energy back that you would get for casting the spirit, or at least some of it for some of our spirits, and you get some health. And then we have Flesh of My Flesh. It's a resurrection skill. It says resurrect target party member with your current health and 8% energy. So it's a resurrection skill. This build's going to have a lot of downtime of just auto-attacking, so we want to have this for to keep everybody up and alive. For this, we're going to have 12 into Communing, 12 into Spawning Power, and 3 into Restoration Magic. And then let's go to the items. You want a Ritualist Wand that has 9 Communing with 20/20 of halves casting time of Communing spells and halves the skill recharge. And you want to have a Focus with the same stats. And then for our armor, we have Survivor Insignias on each piece. And then our helmet, we have a Ritualist Rune of Superior Communing Magic. It'll give you +3 Communing Magic and subtract some health, but health's not as much of an issue because you want your Communing to make your spirit stronger. And it'll give you the +1 because it's on the helmet. This rune does need to be on the helmet because of the +1 to Communing. Then we have a Ritualist Rune of Major Spawning Power. This will give you -35 health and +2 Spawning Power. Then we have a Ritualist Rune of Vigor. This can be anywhere from 30 to 41 to 50 HP. It just depends on how much money you're willing to spend. Then we have a Vitae Rune, 10 HP, pretty strong. And then we have another Vitae Rune for 10 HP, pretty strong. I use Razah for this build. Generally, you want to keep this slot for Razah because this slot is going to be either the SoGM Rit or another form of the Domination Mesmer, which I'll be going over in the next video. So you want to try to keep it towards Razah. And just have 2 sets of armor and stuff like that for him. So yeah, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, dislike on my video. It lets me know if my content is working or not. And it really helps me out if you guys subscribe and like my videos. So do that and let me know what you think. It helps me. I can also answer any questions that you might have in the comments. I try to always read my comment section and answer questions the minute I see them. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.